I think we've reached a socio and economic climate. What's it called? I believe we've reached a socio-political and economic state in the world in which we do not value the self and instead we value ourselves to an uncanny sense of obsession. We value independence to an unhealthy level, independence of me over you. I'm better than you and therefore I'm more important, and it's selfish, and it overall generally takes over the group mindset of we're all in this together, because we all are. There is only one. We are one collective group. We are all people. We are all humans. We're all living on the same planet. We might as well learn to coexist at the same time. But instead of learning how to collaborate and work with one another, we have instead learned to isolate, and not in the manner of to completely isolate oneself instead, but such as like no one goes in, no one goes out, we don't receive anything. Very much limited intake and outtake of ideas. Because we are not developing individually. We are developing very much so according to globalization, and it's actually quite interesting because we are developing in a way that's, well, one, not good in a number of ways, but countries are going against states are going against other states in the sense that there's so many wars happening, so many wars, and the main issue I'm seeing with these wars is that money, unfortunately, is an object. Like with the United States, from what I can see, trying to get involved in so many wars. There are so many people in the world that need help. And by people, I mean less developed nations. So there are less developed nations or states that need help from highly developed states or more developed states. And these more developed states are thinking, but the money. And it's a lot of selfishness because there are people dying. And you could argue the idea that take care of oneself before you take care of others. That is true, that is fair, that is understandable to an extent, but it's gotten to the point where we are creating very left, right, frozen politics where it's either I'm all the way over here and I'm right and you're not. And because I'm right and you're wrong and you still believe that you're right and not me, I'm going to call you names and witch hunt everyone who believes the same way as you and pin them to this unrealistic and chaotic and disrespectful standard, and pin them to this generalization. It's very polarized. It's a polarized political state, specifically within America. And I'm really just, because we're so busy fighting ourselves, we don't realize what's at stake. We're too busy fighting each other on what's right and what's wrong, and it's really, as a youth of America, it's really hard to understand what goes on in the heads of these adults. And frankly, I don't know everything, and I'm not the leader of the country. What do I know? But it's really just hard to follow what people are doing. Like, I was just watching the news. That's why I'm so spirited about this. But, like, I'm hearing about conflicts in other countries. And it's strange. Because we have all the money in the world, and We're not giving it to people because people are afraid. And there's a lot of fear. There's too much fear in the world. There's too much fear put in places where there needs to be hope. And there's a lot of hope in places and in people that there shouldn't be. And I feel like there needs to be a switch or a change. And I'm just unsure on how to make it start, but I'm just confused and utterly befuddled as to how to put this into words. I'm upset at adults and the decisions they choose to make, frankly, and the decisions that they use to lead their countries or to lead their people or to lead their families, or how to conduct themselves. And it's as a teenager, witnessing adults make decisions about other people's bodies, being disrespectful in ways that shouldn't be normal, in ways that shouldn't have been made normal, in ways that are in no way should be normalized or should be seen as respectful to any level. And it's disheartening to see that people are making the conscious and unguided and unfounded decision, and they're going through the thought process, and it just confuses me how people are logically, they're trying to legitimize the wrong decision, and they're trying to legitimize saying terrible things. The your body, my choice. That is something I saw and I heard. Obviously, I identify as a female. I'm a girl. I think that is so disgusting because we see these, not even young men. I don't consider anyone a man if they do something like this, but young boys and older boys, adults, older people. I won't say older gentlemen because that doesn't make them a gentleman. All sorts of age ranges, all across the board. We are seeing, when I say we, I mean me. All across the board, I'm witnessing a lot of disrespect and a lot of harshness and a lot of, like I said, you're right and I'm wrong, and a lot of I have the control, ha ha ha. And it's a lot of in the face, it's a lot of cocky shows of, I think I'm better than you, here's why I am. What? You don't think I'm cool? Darn. you know? But I'm seeing a lot of examples made by older people and adults in my life, not only like close to me in my life, but generally in the world. Known people or known names or general examples. But it's been, especially with social media, it's been worse where young people are seeing examples set online in videos. They're not like studying everything they do, but they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, funny, men are saying men saying stupid shit. Men have been saying stupid shit since they existed. In the male podcasts, that kind of thing. That kind of globalization of ideas and the diffusion of those ideas into younger people has been a big cause for this behavior. Sorry, I went in saying young men and boys exhibiting this kind of disrespectful behavior because that's what they see. And I'm not saying they're monkeys, but monkey see, monkey do, That's how humans operate. We base what we do and how we behave on other people, other monkeys, and we go from there and we operate on what we see. And it's really upsetting because there's so much disrespect. And I'm talking to a lot of boys my age, actually. I go to I would say a pretty good school. It's one of the good schools in my state. And a lot of the boys at this smart, smart people school, that's what I'll call it. A lot of these boys at the smart people school are acting like stupid people. Um, Under the basis, and I'm operating under the basis and the, frankly, yeah, disrespectful assumption that less educated people are often more ignorant because they aren't able to, they haven't been taught to grasp complex ideas. So I'm talking to these boys my age and they're saying such weird and disrespectful things. And I'm hearing a lot of your body, my choice, actually. A lot of that too, and a lot of, frankly, too politically charged things to come out of a young boy's mouth. And it's just the examples being set are not healthy, and they're creating behavior that is greatly damaging. And this kind of behavior can impact them for life, you know? What you learn as a kid, when you become a teenager, when you become a young adult, and when you become an adolescent, you start to observe, of course, the world around you, and you start to take in all these things, and you develop your own, I'm not sure it's the right word, but you start developing your own psyche and your own idea of who you are and what that means for you and who you want to be, what your future is going to look like for you, what you want it to look like, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, what you like to do, your hobbies, you know, who you love, who you're gonna love, um, what your heart looks like, what your soul is. And I'm not saying soul, really. It's just unkindness in a manner that isn't, shouldn't be, frankly, positive, or is that isn't positive. And it's just really upsetting and it hurts, you know, in an emotional way. And I'm just, it's seeing people make bad examples. Bad examples turn into make people bad people. It's a lot of nurture over nature and how people work. No one's born stupid, you know? No one's born an idiot. It's not true. And you don't make yourself an idiot. Your environment turns you into who you are. You know, your environment doesn't completely define you. I've met a lot of people who grew up in chaotic homes and made the best of it, but it's just generally people who do let where they grew up, the people that were around them where they grew up, the people that, the kind of environment that they were, the kind of values that their demographic believe in, the societal norms for gender and other factors that determines who you are as well. And it's just taking all these factors and mushing them into a person. Adding social media to the mix is such a great catalyst for how people are going to end up being and looking and acting like. It's causing a lot of bad behavior. It's thoroughly and significantly negatively impacting how people act and how they choose to act, future-wise. And with this use of technology to how people impact one another, it's just a lot of dumb decisions, you know? It's a lot of letting what other people say define you. Not only what people say about you, but what people just say, you know? like hateful stuff. Like someone says something shitty about someone else, you're gonna take that in. Like you're gonna take the language someone threw at you and you're gonna throw it back at them and expect that to do something for you. And it's just stupid, for lack of a better word. Making bad things out of bad things is gonna make it worse. It's trying to find the hope that makes it worth it. That's trying to find the hope, trying to find the light inside of a dark time. It's what makes that dark time a little brighter. Finding the stars in a dark night sky is a lot harder, but at some point you're gonna find the moon, you know? You gotta hold on, and taking in all this hate and this negativity from the internet, from all this shit happening in the world, it's hard. And it's disheartening. And it makes it hard to be kind. And it makes it hard to be empathetic. But the harder it is, the more important. You know? I really think people always need to be more kind. That's where we're at right now. And kindness is always going to be key. And people need to be kind. I don't think that's where we're at as a society right now. I don't think we're at kindness. And it's just everything is accumulating into one big knot of ugly, disgusting, knotted yarn. And this yarn is old. Some of it's new, but some of this yarn, this ball, this knot is old. And this yarn has been fucked with by cats. This yarn has been turned into a sweater and pulled all out again. It's been cut, it's been put back together, it's got knots in it. And I just don't want us to end up hanging ourselves in this knot, you know? I don't want all this anger and hate to pressurize itself and turn into this unholy fiery blast of hate and unkindness right now when it's most important. People are hurting and people are suffering, and there's so much unpositivity, and there's just so much, you know? There's too much going on. Got all the social media, all these buttons trying to get you to click, trying to get you to keep watching to make their money. Your time has been monetized. There is never going to be enough. Your time has been taken advantage of. You sit there and you scroll on your phone, and I do it. My phone's on a time lapse right now because it's the only thing keeping me off it. And it's your time has been turned into another scheme. Your time has become a ploy for money. And look, I did research on this a while back. Not like research, you know, like test tubes and shit, but I did a research project for school with a group of mine for a class. And what I found was actually crazy because I was looking at social media economically, and I was talking about, let me pull it up. And I was talking about how they take advantage of you and they take advantage of your time. And they take everything you have, you know? Alright, yep. Okay, so beginning with it, I spoke about impulse purchases. You know, the internet entices you. Tap or scroll, it's that immediate gratification that takes you to something new. And there's bright colors and it's bright lights and it keeps you awake. Your phone screen keeps you awake. So you sit there and you're like, I'm not sleepy, so I'm gonna keep scrolling. And it keeps you up. And you keep looking. And there's more. There's always more. You're never going to run out of posts to find. You're never going to run out of memes to favorite. There are trillions of things on the internet right now. You are never going to find everything you want. There is never going to be enough. You could spend all the time in the world, all the time that has been accounted for and counted in the world until now. You could spend 2024 years and 11 months, and you could watch a few videos. There is so much time and so many hours of content that you will never be able to finish. So with this impulse buying, almost every single business, there's a lot of businesses that use this social media and use this constant, everyone's there, everyone's online. There are a lot of us, there are 8 billion. Over half are using the internet, are using social media. So when these brands are on here, they're looking for you. They're looking for their audience, and they're finding it, and they're advertising to you in a way, and they're keeping your attention, which is so hard now. They are trying to keep your attention in a world of constant grabs for you. Because that's what all this social media is for. It's for you. It's for your attention. To get you where they want you. So this brand presence online is insane. This brand presence online means that there is a larger chance to interact with over 84% of those within Gen Z present on at least one social media platform. Of course, that was the focus of my research as well. How many people there are on Earth? 8 billion? And India hit 1 billion not that long ago. A lot of those are Gen Z. A lot of those people are people young, 15 to 30, 15 to 30-year-olds, new people, new to life, new to living, new to being out here. They're all on it. They're all on social media. People scroll through, be like, oh, look at this cute cup. Let me buy it. Because you cannot see the money you're spending, it makes it that much harder to understand that you are actually spending anything. It is the fact that you cannot comprehend that you are spending anything at all that is such a killer. And it hurts people economically, and it makes it so much harder to be responsible. They take advantage that people aren't responsible, that young people aren't, People who are highly impulsive, it's even worse. This dopamine release that people get, according to a study, highly impulsive people receive a higher amount of dopamine, almost 4 times that of their less impulsive peers, from this instant gratification of social media and impulse buys. So this dopamine release, I'm going there, is akin to an addiction. Control Shift Y. Yeah. So, addiction, commonly acknowledged. Anything with a lack of control or moderation is an addiction. So, spending 7 hours on social media a day, addiction. You should not be spending almost a third of your time online. Touch some grass, write a book, eat a flower. I don't know. But this dopamine release, it entices and enforces the return from these users, and it thus encourages them to buy more. Buy more. Buy. So, you end up having, so online retail therapy, crazy, very common. And the issue is in online shopping, there is no checkout line. You click the button, you click buy, and you have it. It's so quick and so easy. You don't even understand it's happening. And oftentimes people won't sit there and wonder, do I want this? Will I want this 10 years from now? Do I really care about it? They'll spend 20 minutes, make a purchase. Because it's that easy. It's been made that easy. It's not an accident. It encourages this chase of dopamine from this retail therapy. And it encourages the return to users onto these social media platforms to buy more. Because it's easy. And they can't. And no one can process that. Oh, I just spent an actual physical $30. Because you don't have the $30 in your hand. You don't miss it when it leaves your hand. You don't feel it tug at you, you don't cry. You don't mourn the loss of your $30. You just think, I clicked a button and something's coming to my house. It's that easy that you don't understand and that you don't process it. You're not able to contextualize that even happened. So, there's that. Now, a lot of something I did, there was a review by Adobe, where 16% of Gen Zs in a survey responded that they prefer YouTube Shorts. So, right? Seems like an unimportant statistic. That is half of those surveyed. And that means most users of Generation Z and active on the platform. So, according to the YouTube guidelines for being monetized, a creator must get 1,000 subscribers and have 4,000 hours of viewage in the past year, or get 1,000 subscribers and 10 million public shorts views in the last 90 days. Those have not been updated since 2019. So those have been there. Or those were posted 2019, I believe. But only then can they apply for monetization, make a living. In the first part, that first part of the and, or that first part of the or, 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of viewage in the year. 4,000 hours is 166 days. Just nonstop. If you just kept clicking videos, that is 166 days. Which is insane. And assuming the second half, which is 1,000 subscribers and 10 million public shorts views, assuming the YouTube short is like 30 seconds and they watch the whole video, that means that is over 3,000 days spent watching YouTube shorts. Let me put this in my TI-84 for you. 3,000 days. That is 8.2 years. Yeah, 8.2. Spending 8.5 years, basically. 8 years. A little over 8 years watching YouTube shorts. So 8 years of time. If all watched by one person. So you get anywhere between 2 to 3 cents per video. So each time a user spends time on a video, it increases the gain of the creator. Duh. Views, money. Simple, easy. But in order to get these views, people use clickbait, use big music, catchy music, visuals, headlines, clickbait, anything to get a viewer's eye, make their money, watch my video, like and subscribe, because it ups the algorithm that runs social media websites now to watch and to read and to do more. So, with this dopamine drivenness of social media, that dopamine rush can and will become addictive. And so the more the user enjoys it, the more the user is exposed to this instant, like I said, instant gratification of scroll, something new. Oh wow, bright screen, bright colors, constant change of scenery to refresh you and keep you wondering what's next, what's next, what's next. If you grow bored of the video, then it's not a good video. I have to make it more interesting, more exciting, more loud, more big, more catchy. The more you get, the more you need in the future to keep yourself fixated on it. Your time is effectively monetized by this. They get money for views. You are a view. You are a number on the video that gets them 2 to 3 cents. But they want that 2 to 3 cents. Because multiple 2 to 3 cents really good for their bank account. So people watch the videos, you know? No research is able to properly defend it at this point, as far as my essay has, but people under 25, like people of Gen Z, evidently watching this content is not good. Because of how it is designed and made to be, it profits over people having little to no self-control. So the issue is, let me put it like this. Having self-control makes no one any money. Young people struggling to figure out who they are, you know? Phones? No. Phones? Nice. Phones are considered a common item for teens and children as well. What we're seeing is, in children and teens, is a lack of ability to pay attention long term to complex things, things that are confusing, things that are a little bit boring. They can't do it. I can't do it. I can't sit there in algebra, Kids can't pay attention. We're also seeing, or at least I'm observing, young children. Young children are seeing it, and they are getting used to this highly online presence of today. And they're thinking, I want that to be me. And with children, online, not really a good mix. It's not a place to grow up. It's not real. That experience and that rush they get of just scrolling and going through each piece of content, going from video to video, it's quick, it's easy, it's not hard. You don't have to sit through 30 minutes. You don't have to sit through a 30-minute YouTube verbal essay, verbal commentary. I just think it's really disgusting. I think it's disgusting that children, not disgusting in the sense that, ew, you let your kid do that. And I'm not criticizing anyone's choices, and I'm not criticizing people who use social media as an outlet for awareness or as a way to connect with other people like them. I'm just criticizing the way it's been designed and the way it has become now to not create a third space, but instead to eliminate it and to occupy you. with something else and to keep you from wanting anything other than the next video. With these young children, that instant gratification is ruining their ability to, like I said, A, pay attention, and B, to be normal. You know, it's hurting the way they act as well. Because, like I said earlier, these online social media behaviors are entirely and inherently harmful. You can view any piece of bad media online. What's the saying? Trying to find it. Bad publicity. Bad publicity is still publicity. So we're seeing bad people get bad publicity, and young people are seeing it, and they're thinking, everyone must think this way. And they absorb it, and they take it in. And it's harmful, and it harms them. And so social media is just, it's a corporate greed. Take your time and to turn it into money. And it harms development, and it harms your attention span, and it harms the way your dopamine works. It's terrible. Now, another thing it affects, consumerism, or overconsumption. Something that's kind of come into the limelight, not in a good light, but it's come into the front of our brain recently. Recently is in like this year, this past couple years. This has a lot to do with social media. Because, you know how I talked about earlier about how social media shapes how people buy and interact with products and brands? With this consumerism as a cycle, constant consumption, the customer is trying to follow trends. They are searching and grasping for anything that keeps them popular and keeps them in. Highly consumers people they'll prioritize what the stuff they have over who they are. They'll prioritize getting the new water bottle trend over using the same one they've had for 3-4 years, maybe 5. They'll prioritize getting what's best over getting what's reliable and relying on it, and then you'll get something shit and you'll still use it because it's cool and it looks good. But with this constant search for what's the next best thing, the next new thing, the next good thing, pardon me, it leads to a lot of feelings of unhappiness and anxiety, depression, and bad self-esteem. And this shift obviously messes up people's well-being emotionally. And we're seeing in Eastern Asian countries, specifically like China, Japan, Korea, etc. There is, and this originates from Confucianist values of like money equating to power, money and luxury with a higher level. And higher level is good, obviously. Higher level, you want to elevate yourself, you want to try to be better, you want to try to be different, you want to be independent. Like we're seeing self-independence and individualism. But this purchase of luxury items, specifically in Eastern Asia, to keep up with the standard, this fucks up your finances, first of all. Keeps you poor. Controls you in that way. Not only that, but keeps you under. In the sense that you're always trying to find the best product to buy. Like people are obsessed with Birkins, and then take the Birkin and they'll put it in a glass case and never touch it. You want a Birkin because you're going to use the Birkin, you know? And people just want the luxury just to have it and just to feel better, you know? And it leads to a lot of inferiority from people and a lot of, I don't have the bag, so I'm not cool. You don't have to have a bag to know what cool is. Like, cool can mean having nice hair. You know, cool can be having a nonchalant attitude. Cool can be having money and not spending it on purchases like luxury brands. It just overall it just demonstrates how social dynamics impact economic decisions by consumers from social media. That ties into social media because often, like flexing online, that as well as in East Asia, they do that, where it's like, take a picture of your Birkin Kelly bag, post it, be like, oh, I got a Kelly. And it's dumb. I mean, good for you. If you're economically stable enough to make that decision, make that decision. But only if you want it, not because you think you have to have it to make you feel normal, to feel like other people. But social media has such a significance on how people act and how people conduct themselves, and it's just really weird because it's encroaching on how people operate as humans and taking over social conduct and behaviors and how people take academics and how people use their what's it called how people spend their time. Do you spend your time watching hours of social media, or do you spend your time fucking around doing math problems, eating a flower, finding cute music, making playlists, drawing? Like, how I can't think of things to do. It happens to me too. It's happened to me. And it's just, social media should not be social media is not a replacement for social interaction. It's not only the face-to-face and learning how to understand body language and understand facial expression and tone of voice. Not only that, but working to understand that the person you are speaking with is a human being with individual thoughts and feelings separate of you, and you're just a character in their lives. Everyone is a main character in the sense that everyone around you is the main character of their own life, and you're all just side characters, and you need to understand that. You're not going to be able to understand everyone, but who you do understand is important. And you shouldn't let social media tell you that because they dress this way, they're this way. Or because they say this to your face means this. And don't trust the stupid life coaches. They're bullshit. It doesn't matter how you eat. You don't have to eat like a dainty princess every day. Sure, don't chew with your mouth open. Sure. I hate that. A lot of people do. But don't let social media define you and who you choose to be, because while it is such a pivotal part in humanity and how society functions and will function in the future, should not be a part of your decision-making process about anything. You should not include social media in how you make economic purchases. You should not let social media define how you spend time with your loved ones. You should not let social media decide if you spend time with your loved ones. It should not make the decision for you. Be in control of your own life. Understand what there is that exists and understand what there isn't. understand that a lot of things are a ploy. A lot of things and a lot of people want your time and they want your money. And you need to understand that your time is the most valuable thing in the world. There's only so many weeks and days you have left in your life, and you never know when it's going to end. And that's the beautiful part. Is there's no real way to know what's going to happen. There's no 100% that it's going to rain. There's a 99.9. You know? You can be pretty damn sure that it will, but you can never be 100%. That's the beauty about life. Nothing's guaranteed. So live like it is. Don't live like an idiot. Live like you love yourself, because you deserve to. And to find hope, and find beauty, and find kindness, and choose to find things that serve you and take away the ones that don't. Take away the people that don't. If there's someone that doesn't deserve to be in your life, then they don't. And maybe they shouldn't be. And it's okay, and it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna suck. But doing the right thing is always the hard thing. Take the hard path, because it's always the one that's gonna make you feel better. And at the end of the day, understand that there's no better source of guidance than you. Because if you fuck up and you do better. And it's never gonna be November 11th. Fuck. It's never gonna be November 19th at 8:11 p.m. Ever again. You only have now. You have the present. Because the present is the present and you're never gonna get it back. You have now or never. You're never, ever gonna live the same day ever again. You choose to change, because that's human nature. Human nature is to change and to be different and to make do and to change with what you have and to be better. So be better. Love everyone. Do better. And have empathy and have kindness and make the conscious decision to be a better person. Whether that be to hug your mom a little more or to cut her off because she doesn't love you. Any decision can be the right decision. You have to weigh the pros and cons and you have to understand your situation. And don't use social media to guide that. Just because people are talking about cutting off their mom doesn't mean your mom's terrible or you should. Just because people are talking about how all moms are amazing doesn't mean your mom is not a bad person. It depends. It changes. It's different. It's life. Live it.